it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side.
So hi, Sarah. It's so
Hi.
nice to see you. I don't believe
too.
I've read for you before, have I?
No, so I heard about you through actually Colleen Ballinger's YouTube.
Right.
Because I'm a
Okay.
huge fan of hers, and I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and now it just seems
It's
like a
just
good time.
Yes.
So
Well, welcome and thank you. I'm really looking forward to reading for you. I just wanted to share a little bit with you about how I work so that you can have the best experience possible. Okay.
Okay.
So firstly, it's important to know that the spirit world speaks to me in metaphor. So that means I have to interpret that information and then translate it.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that if you're only listening to the exact words that I'm saying, you might actually miss information. So if you also think in terms of metaphor, then you'll be perfect. Then you'll be able to connect the information. Though you should know my intention is to bring information to you in a relatable way, but I'm just not all perfect and all knowing human. So I appreciate you thinking a bit bigger than the exact words that I say.
Oh yeah, I'm a metaphor person for sure.
Perfect. And I promise to give you all the information that I get. So the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, everything. I can edit though, just so you know that.
Yeah.
Do you want to know everything, or do you want me to just edit some parts out? How would you?
No, I want to know everything. Okay. I'm nervous, but yes.
Okay, it's okay to be nervous. I promise to be kind, compassionate, and loving with a side of sarcasm and a potty mouth. Just heads up, Buttercup. Okay?
Perfect.
Like a sailor. Okay, so I mean, just so you know, look, I do get medical information, I do get legal information, and I give that information as part of me speaking to you for your highest good. So I just want everything. I'm here to make sure you're able to live your life as good, as healthy, as wonderful as possible. Okay, so just know that I'm giving you potentials and possibilities off of timelines that I'm seeing, okay, that I'm feeling. So nothing that I say is ever set in stone, first of all. And second of all, I'm not really telling you what to do. I'm giving you guidance. I'm saying this can happen if you do this, and this can happen if you do that. So really everything is up to you, okay? So you choose your own adventure. You choose your own reality. Okay. And the last thing here that I just want to share with you, and this is super important, okay? It is that you will know within probably sooner than 10 minutes if this reading is working for you. You'll know if I'm bullshitting you. You'll know if I am not connecting with you. And if what I say doesn't resonate, doesn't feel right to you, there's no shame in the game. I don't want you to feel like you're going to hurt my feelings, but it's super important that you actually speak up and say something and just say, Terry, this isn't working out. Because what we're going to do is we're going to end the session and I'm going to reimburse you your money. I'm not here to waste your time or your money. So if this isn't working, that's fine. So you've got the 10-minute mark to make that decision. If you don't say anything, I'd love to say I'm a mind reader. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not going to know, and I'm just going to continue on. Okay, so you understand how I operate and all that? Perfect.
Definitely.
Okay, great. So how do you want me to drive this session for you? Do you want just general information, or did you have specific areas in your life you want me to look into for you?
Kind of both. I definitely have a very specific area where I have the most need.
Okay.
But I do kind of want to see also just generally what kind of comes
going
up.
on. Okay. So because of time's sake, I'm more biased towards making sure we get your needs met first, and then we can go general and we'll see what else you need to know. Okay, perfect. Good. So let's get this connection going. Do me a favor, put both of your hands on your heart. I'm going to do the same thing. And just take a few deep breaths. And just say your first name only, your first name out loud 3 times, please.
Sarah, Sarah, Sarah.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. And just a reminder, this is being recorded.
Okay.
So I will be able to Dropbox you a link. You'll have about a day to grab it. And I may be using this for promotional purposes. I may not. We'll see. But I want to make sure you get a link so you'll be able to download this and listen to it again. Okay, so go ahead and tell me what it is that you want me to look into and that you're seeking guidance or advice about.
My love life.
The love life. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you currently in a relationship, or are you completely and totally single and looking?
Completely and totally single for way too long.
Okay, got it. As weird as this is going to sound, I'm actually glad that is the case, because when people show up to me and you are showing up to me as single, it either means you are single as fuck, or you're in a relationship and one of you guys isn't plugged in. So I'd much rather you be very, very single. I'm
very single.
So are you just looking to see like when things might start popping on the radar, or did you have Okay. So So the first thing that I want to do is I want to look into, because I feel like there's a block that's going on with you that you may not be able to sort of, now please know everything that I'm sharing with you is for your highest good. So I'm not just saying for shits and giggles.
Totally understand.
But I feel like there's a block when it comes to, do you understand this? Okay, now this is more in the past than it is in the present.
Okay.
I feel like the choices that you've made in men, it's almost like their emotional maturity, it's almost as if you've gone like, what the fuck am I doing with this person? You understand that?
Yeah.
It's interesting because there is that pattern of kind of like this is the best way I can explain it. Emotionally unavailable, emotionally immature jester. You understand this?
Yes.
Almost as like you're entertained by this on some level, okay? It hurts your heart, but there's almost this like attraction to someone who, and it feels masculine in energy. So whether it's a female, it's just a masculine female, or a male, it's a masculine. I go by energy, not sexual identity. Mm-hmm. So I do feel more masculine in
definitely
energy. So is that men for you then?
Yes.
Okay.
And very manly men. For sure.
But they're emotionally immature.
Yes.
And it's almost like they're so disconnected from who they are. It's a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing is like, I hear you laughing, but I feel like there's a lot of sadness behind that laughter. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like this has been a pattern. At least the last 3 guys that you've been with have been this way. You understand this?
Definitely, but way more than that even.
More than that. But these last 3, it feels to me like the reason why you're single right now is it's actually more of a shutdown choice. It was almost like, I'm going on mancation. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm on mancation. And so emotionally and energetically, I feel like you're starting to actually come out of that. So there's a part of you that's willing to be more risky right now. Which I like for you. So the block that's coming up is that the emotional immaturity and unavailability, that happens to be your pattern. You understand this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let me look into some more about this.
Okay.
Now, here's what I will say. You have a very healthy libido. You understand this? So it's not like... You like that? You're like, gimme.
Definition of me.
Yeah, it's good.
My friends call me a 13-year-old boy. So.
Yeah. Like you're there sexually, so there's no sexual issues. There's no blocks about physical intimacy with you. As a matter of fact, and there's no shame when I say this, you are a woman who actually needs and thrives on sexual intercourse and sexual connection, okay? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I'm really glad that you're embracing it, which is really, really lovely. The challenge that I feel like you have, at least in regards to when it comes to relationships, is that you'll kind of think too much about it. Like, should I or shouldn't I? Where you're just like, I need to just fucking do this. You understand this?
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, you know, where you are coming out of and moving to is more of risk taking, and not necessarily in an unhealthy way. It's almost like there's a part of you that's healed where you're like, okay, so there's been the block in the past of choosing these men, but now you're curious since you've done some shifting and changing in this area of relationships. You understand this? I feel like you've done some reflection, or you've taken some sort of count or accountability in how you've been in relationships in the past. Do you understand this?
Yeah, I've actually been writing like a book kind of about all my past relationships.
Yes.
And like what I've taken from each of them.
Yes.
So.
And I'm getting chills on this. That is actually the instigator for you and your healing with this. So you've come to a point where your higher self right now is driving, by the way, which I like.
Okay.
As long as you're listening to your higher self, I'm all in for that. I'm all in for that. But it's like your higher self or your inner being is saying like, I know that I am more worthy now than I used to be. You understand this? I know how I used to be in relationships, and I'm willing to practice and test the waters to see if I can change how I respond to interaction with men. You understand this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So you are ready. I want to tell you, you are ready.
Okay.
The time is right and you are ready. So now it's just a matter of making sure you don't move backwards into patterns of that familiarity place when you get what might be considered triggered by fear of intimacy. And it's not sexual. It's not sexual intimacy. You're like, you're there. Like, don't even worry about this. This is emotional intimacy. This is about being fully seen and fully heard. Do you understand that? Like in the past, you've been afraid to show up and to go, this is me. And like, but now you're starting to embrace that part of yourself. So you're like, well, this is me. I'm nervous, but let me test the waters. Let's see, which is way better than fuck that. I'm not going anywhere near that. So along with that, definitely, believe it or not, I'm just flat out going to say this because you got the prosperity card as well, or a prosperity card. So when you do find somebody and when you get into, because I do feel like you're going to start testing the waters, and I keep hearing September. So there's a connection to you in September. Okay. Unless your birthday is in September, is it?
No.
Okay. So there's a connection with September, and you either starting getting out there, dating again, or you finally start when you're dating showing up differently. Okay. So there's activity. Okay. Even in the pandemic, you're one of these people that are like, I am willing to still meet people. You understand this? Like you're not one of these, like, I'm not going to be dating like me right now. I'm like, no, not right now. but see, that's a good thing because you're willing to show up, which I love.
Safely, but yes.
oh, without a doubt. Look, girl, you can do it all. You got it. And you're starting to feel it. And you know, your sensuality is coming online as well. Okay. It's been a little bit hidden as you've been on mancation, but mancation's about to end. And so that's what you're like, my vital life force is starting to come up. Mama's feeling it. Yeah. So, and that is bigger than you. And what I mean by that is energetically, it's showing up, and you don't have to you won't have to prove it to anybody. Okay. So I love that because it will lead to seduction. You won't have to try. Okay. So just be who you are in your healthier state of mind right now, and the seduction is going to come through. And it will be picked up. It will be perceived. Okay.
Okay.
Again, there's a connection to maybe more activity or something happening in September. So that's when you might meet someone or actually start getting there. So you could actually meet somebody earlier, but that's when you maybe are in more physical proximity, or you feel comfortable enough to say, yes, let's have a mask date, you know, or something like that. Again, this is metaphor. That's, I mean, if any more mid-September, I was just like, can I look into September more? So I do feel more like mid to late September is when the activity for you is going to be happening. But I do feel like you should start going online now. I don't know if you are or have been, and then it just could be that September is just when, again, more activity happens. Things I feel like you should consider are opposites. So the guy that you usually are attracted to or would respond to on the online dating thing, you got to go the opposite.
Okay.
It hasn't worked for you in the past.
Yeah. I've been trying to be more open.
You are
minded. So
you are. And as a matter of fact, what I feel like, okay, I just got this. There may be 2 or 3 guys that, let's say, you would never even consider.
Okay.
But this is on purpose that you make this effort, that you go complete extreme opposite. And even if it doesn't work out to where there's another date, you find such a sense of pride in yourself for not only taking the risk, but for feeling more accomplished with yourself, that you're proving to yourself you're not as judgmental as you thought you could be or would be. Okay. You understand this? So for you, going the complete opposite, you know, would be like fan freaking tastic, because you will be pleasantly surprised, but it's going to bring up for you a sense of pride and accomplishment. So this is where your healing continues. Okay. I do feel, so here's where I feel like, in terms of, now this is bigger picture. Okay. This is what I was telling you and sharing with you was smaller picture. Okay. Bigger picture, I feel like it could be 2 to 3 years. And again, I could be wrong. I'm not all perfect. I'm not all knowing, and everything's based on this conversation. So you could maneuver and change and make different decisions and choices as soon as this is over, or, you know, further down the line. But I feel like within the next 2 to 3 years is when you really meet somebody who is going to be there for a while. Okay. So that's not to say you won't have experiences before that, because you will, but those are preparations for this one. Now, as of this conversation, I can't tell you if that's your one or your person, but it's big. Okay. And what I mean by big love and big growth. Okay. I do feel when it comes to marriage or having the package of the family and all that, it's actually a choice. So it's not like whether it's going to happen or not happen. It's whether you choose for it to happen or not. Because I do feel like you will be changing and growing as you evolve. And I will give you just a brief example. I used to want to have kids so bad, like so bad. And in the past year, I've really, really changed. And I'm like, no, but I actually don't want children. So I'm just saying right now, where you are with your choices or your desires could change. Okay. So that's why it's coming up as a choice, because I feel like you're going to be in flux, and a lot of that is going to have to do with your job and your finances. So here's also where I want to piggyback that prosperity card to you that I mentioned earlier. I feel like once you get into that real solid, stable relationship, your confidence is going to change so much that it affects your finances, which means money, honey. So if you're finding there's a correlation between your finances and your love life, it's legit. Okay. And you probably will notice that as you start having more of a love life, and you will, I mean, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
So you're
That's comforting.
It's in alignment. But, and as, I don't want to say but, as you are getting or having more of a romantic life, you're also having more of a prosperous life too. Okay. So for you, there's a correlation between that, and it's showing up.
Okay.
Now, you know, it's going to be very important for you to find a partner who has this, and I'm again just flat out telling you, who has the same sexual appetite that you have.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so don't abandon yourself and your needs just because some guy is going to be accepting you. So if he's like, he's got all these wonderful qualities and all that, but sexually he's just not up to par, it's big for you.
Okay. Yeah.
For maybe other women, it's not as big, but for you, it's big. So it's super important. So you don't tuck that part of yourself away. You don't make yourself small. It is part of who you are.
Definitely.
It's what makes you a goddess. It is. It is. So that could be an area where you may, again, potential and possibility, doesn't mean it has to happen, where you may abandon yourself. The other thing is putting yourself first. And don't, and I, you know, put it this way. When you're flying on an airplane back in the day when we did those things. Yeah. You know, the mask comes down. They always say to put your mask on first before your infant child.
Yeah.
Now your heart is breaking because you're like, I need to rescue and save the life of my infant child. But that infant child isn't going to have a mother to nurture and protect her if that mother is gone.
Yeah.
So you will not be able to fully show up into a relationship if you're not taking care of yourself first. So that is the other pattern that you have, is that you do have a tendency to sort of go like, well, I'm going to do what he wants, you know, or like, I don't know, whatever. We're not going to have sex tonight. Fine. You know, even if you want it. So
yeah.
Just keep that in mind, that your mask has to come on first before you take care of him. I'm not saying don't take care of him. I'm not saying show up. But
don't neglect myself in the process.
Neglect yourself. It's called self-abandonment, and it is not healthy. It is not healthy. And you know what? Men do not like that.
I know.
They don't like that. And actually what that can do is cause the universal law of repulsion, which means you actually push them away if you're giving them too much.
Yep.
So again, you know, opposites. For you to break patterns from the past, it's about opposites. So if you want a different love life, you're going to have to act and be different in your love life. You understand that? Yeah. So that's where that is. But I like, you know, September should start to get exciting for you.
Okay.
Yes. So I know that took up most of our time. Is there another question that I can answer for you? And, you know, whether it's about this, where I can go deeper, or, you know, we can touch on something else.
I mean, I guess the other like glaring issue in my life has always been my health, and like both physical and mental health. So I guess if there's anything related to that.
You know, when I come up with the mental health, it kind of like piggybacks with the physical health. So first and foremost, and I am doing a quick energetic scan on you, and I don't feel anything terminal. I don't feel like there's anything that's going to necessarily like turn you into a different direction. But do you understand headaches at all, or pressure in the head? Do you get that?
I don't really get headaches, but I'm always in my head.
Well, because that's where I was kind of going, because I'm feeling pressure in my head. And so if you're not actually experiencing like headaches or discomfort in your head, it's because there's too much cerebralness going on. You know, your problem, Sarah, is you're just too goddamn smart. Right? But really, the more intelligent a person, the more they're going to analyze, the more they're going to rationalize. And I feel like you have a tendency to marinate. You understand this? So you'll get one thought and just go over and over and over. And actually, it feels to me like you might even try and fix it through thinking over and over and over again. In other words, like, how is this? I have to figure out how to put human words to it. It's almost like if you relive it and marinate it in your head, you can come up with all the different ways you could have done something. You understand that? So it's like you're trying to rewrite your past through thinking about the same thing, but energetically, the way you rewrite your past. So part of you is right, like intuitively and instinctively about rewriting. It's actually an energetic tool for creation and reality manifestation. So it's like you're partially on the right track, but you're not applying it correctly. So you'd have to learn that technique, but you're like partially there. Well, I can tell you that the more you think about it or try and think of how you could have done it differently is not going to rewrite that past to create a future. But that's what it feels like. You're trying to get a sense of control that way. You understand?
Yeah, definitely.
If you're gonna, or if you want to rewrite that, you can rewrite, or like you can pick a scenario or situation and you can rewrite it as if it's different. Okay, so you're not going to rewrite it as if it's the same.
Right, okay.
You know, so when you're marinating, you're saying it's the same situation. And again, this is a technique that you have to learn, that in like 3 minutes, I'm not going to be able to, like, you know, sit here.
Right. Yes.
But, you know, if you are going to marinate on something, change the story of that. Don't say the same thing. And the way you would change it is to a future outcome. So for example, let's see if I can give you an example. Okay. Yesterday I had a phone conversation with Jimmy. I'm just saying, example, with Jimmy, and we got into an argument. I hung up and we were both upset, right? So how we could rewrite that is I had a really fabulous conversation that went easily, it went smoothly with Jimmy, and surprisingly it was fun because there was banter. And then he had to leave to go somewhere, so the conversation had to end. Energetically, what you did was you raised the frequencies of what actually happened. Now, right now, I can feel that you're like, but that's bullshit, Terry. That didn't actually happen. Or there's something about it that you can't believe. But here's the thing, is energetically, there's no bias. The energy doesn't care. So it doesn't care about the meaning you're putting to it, whether it happened or didn't happen. So that's why what you're doing by ruminating the same thing over and over and over again is actually leaking energy outside of you that you could be using for your physical health to be feeling better. So for you being so cerebral mentally, you know, it affects your mental health. Right? And so from there, you're going to have all these thoughts, and whatever your belief systems are or whatever, they're just going to ruminate over and over and over again. And so that's why it's going to affect your physical health, because you take yourself out of like healthy energy reserve. So you'd have to learn how to manage and regulate those thoughts and behavior patterns, you know, in order to feel better physically.
Okay.
So for you, you know, again, everybody's got, you know, I don't care, like, and we'll have to end here. I don't really care about what people see or think how other people's lives are, because people only show, you know, the best parts of themselves, right? The reality is that every human has bullshit. Every human goes into like places where they feel threatened and they just don't feel good. And then they respond certain ways. That affects their energy. In turn, that affects their physical health. Right. So for you, you would have to start in a more cerebral mental way to move into a feeling, which then affects your energy. So it's not that it can't be done. You just have to learn how to do it. You weren't taught. It's that simple.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. Everybody's got their shit. As far as I'm concerned, everybody has multiple personalities because there's different parts of us that respond at different times.
Yes.
So there's no shame. You're not broken. You just got to learn. That's it. Totally doable. All right, my dear Sarah, I hope this was very informational for you.
It was.
Good. And I will go ahead and I will email you a link with the Dropbox. You'll have about a day to grab it. So make sure you grab it right away. And I hope all is well. And you can probably invite your friend back in so she doesn't have to be banished anymore. All right, my dear. You have a great rest of your day, okay?
You too. Thank
you.
Bye.
Oh, it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side.